हरे कृष्ण। मम ज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। Hare Krishna. So we will see what Prabhupada has to say in this pastime of Dhruv Maharaj. And Prabhupada has many insights. So we will try to see, Prabhupada has different ways of explaining. We will try to see three types, three aspects. One is the cultural aspect, one is the psychology, and third is devotional aspect. So three things we'll try to study and analyze all these purports which Prabhupada is giving. It will help us because we need mode of goodness to live a proper life, and that is very important. And then we need to know how the mind works, that is psychology. Culture is for mode of goodness, and we need to understand our mind, little bit of psychology, and then spiritual, that is for the soul. So we need all these three things because we want to stay in mode of goodness, which is very, very important to make progress. Because we may become devotee in mode of passion and ignorance, but to maintain it, we need goodness. So this is why it is very important to practice certain culture, why we need to follow certain rules and regulations, these regulative principles. These regulative principles are for the mind and to keep the mind peaceful, bring it to mode of goodness. That's why it is very important. So, if somebody who's not following for regulative principles, he can become a devotee, but he cannot progress in bhakti very fast because mind is getting distracted and it cannot concentrate and focus. So that is the point. So here we see that such a highly cultured family, Uttanapada is grandson of Brahma, son of Swayambhu Manu. Swayambhu Manu is such an exalted. Now, even in that families, there are problems. Problems to such an extent that the son is leaving home and father is not doing anything. And we saw another family just before this section was the family of Lord Shiva and their Brahma's family only, where the granddaughter of Brahma is committing suicide. And here, granddaughter of great grandson of Brahma is leaving home because of family disputes. We cannot expect much in this material world. Even Lord comes, it is very risky for Lord to come to material world because people offend the Lord. Even in material world, we see how many people are there who are offending the Lord here. And if Lord's devotee come, like Jesus Christ came and people crucified him, Lord sent his devotee, and it was such a risk. So it is risk in this material world even for the Lord also because people are not very good. And we see this is how it is happening. And such a great personality. Uttanpada is not some ordinary person. They're empowered by Supreme Lord only because they're ruling the whole creation that time. And even for him also there are weaknesses. What is the weakness? He's not even caring one wife. He has only two. Means of course, one wife only difficult to handle Kali Yuga. But for him, he is not able to take care of his two wives. And he got henpecked. And to an extent that, okay, but at least for the children, he should have been neutral. Even that also he could not handle. And we can see what is the result. Of course, in this case, Dhruv Maharaj went to forest and he met the Lord and he was successful and the story came in Bhagavatam. But there will be so many stories or incidents that happened where it's a failure. The son left the home and he was gone, died or something. There will be so many incidents that might have happened. We don't know. Only successful or some very great important lesson stories are only revealed to us. But such stories are there from the beginning of war that need to be understood. So here one story only, either whatever Sukadeva Goswami narrated, they're all lessons of the pastimes of very great importance because they're teaching certain lessons, especially the devotional aspect. That's those are the ones Sukadeva Goswami selected for us, and because he wanted to make a point at how bhakti we should do Anyabhilashita bhakti and the highest bhakti. So to to bring to that point, whatever stories are needed, whatever narrations and whatever prayers and whatever descriptions, that all he chose to help us bring to that point. And he has, but if there are other Puranas, there are so many other stories also, and some success stories, some tragic stories, and like that. Even tragic stories also are of great importance. They also can bring such a great lesson. If you take Ramayana, from beginning to end, Ramayana is a tragic story only. If you check horoscope of Lord Rama, I think it's not good horoscope because the day he was about to coronate, he was sent to forest. And when he is finishing his exile, his wife got kidnapped. And then he made a big endeavor to bring her, and then to prove to others that she is chaste and all, he made her enter fire, took such a risk. And after that, when he brought her back, and then people started criticizing, he has to send her forest. So it does not look like very success, but still it has very great importance for all of us. So the point here is that we can see the problems of this material world to such a great families of Uttanapada, Swayambhu Manu. Swayambhu Manu could not settle the issues. And his daughter-in-law is suffering because of his son's behavior, Uttanapada. But yeah, and not only daughter-in-law, his grandson also, Dhruva Maharaj also suffered. And we may say, oh, no proper training is given. Yeah, they are very cultured, they got training. Even Daksha got training, but he offended his own son-in-law to such an extent that his daughter is committing suicide in front of him, and he did not care less. So the point what I want to tell is that we have to, first thing is, this material world is such a dangerous place. We, no matter wherever we are, whichever family we are born, whichever, how much money, wealth we may have, like Daksha, and exalted like Shiva, and such a great personality like Uttanapada, still the conditions will affect us, and we may have to pay for it, right? And like, say, we say, oh, bad karma, you suffer. But in case of Shiva, there's no bad karma only, but he has to lose Sati. And Sati, she didn't had any bad karma, but she got Daksha as father. So like that, no, it's very complicated. Anyway, there are some things are leelas, but some things are really, painful also. So here also we see that Dhruva Maharaj, this is one thing, the state of material world, no matter who we are, uh, and any acharyas come, their life is also not so easy, even though they are coming for a noble cause. They also go through great tough times, and it's not that everybody is welcoming him. He came from the spiritual world and we listen to him. No, they have to struggle so much to do some minimum effect in this material world. So here we see that the Dhruv Maharaj is living for the forest. The title itself is uh, shows that it's there was some very bad thing happened. He has to go to the forest, and that too, not that he is very grown up and all. And it's not actually easy, if people who are staying in city, if they're told to go and stay in the village for few days, only they feel it's austerity. What to speak of staying in a forest where no running water is there, no flush toilets are there, no electricity is there, no Wi-Fi is there. It's like hell only. Of course, somebody who is very sattvic, he will enjoy it, but others, it's not possible. So Maitreya says that the four great Kumaras, sages headed by Sanaka, as well as Narada, Ribhu, Hamsa, Aruni, Yati, all sons of Brahma, did not live at home, but became Urdhvaretas, or Naishtiki Brahmacharis, unadulterated celibates. Actually, I forgot to record, actually. That's the reason I am taking this again. So, not a problem. So basically, this Purvaretas, by controlling the semen, we can control the mind. To somebody want to focus the mind on certain thing, the best way is actually controlling the Urdhvaretas. This is the way to focus on one particular point. So it helps because the mind is not distracted, the energy is there. It's a very subtle thing. People of modern medicine, they don't understand this. They say, oh, you let out your energy and no, you'll be more enthusiastic, energetic. Yeah, you end up in passion. But if you want to be in goodness, we have to restrict. So they say you enjoy and you will be more energetic, whatever formula. I don't know what their formula is. But that is for becoming in mode of passion. But to concentrate, we need goodness. So even athletic people also, they also understand this. Who are focusing on very subtle things, they all know, even scientists and all, they all understand. Like we hear about Muhammad Ali, this boxer. Before the match, at least 1 2 months, he used to practice celibacy because he has to concentrate. Even such gross people also, he also understand this. So, Prabhupada, semen is so important that if by the yogic process one can lift the semen up to the brain, he can perform wonderful work. One's memory is enabled to act very swiftly and the duration of life is increased. Yogis can perform all kinds of austerities with steadiness and be elevated to the highest perfectional stage, even to the spiritual world. This is actually the advantage of controlling. It helps. And another nice point, another significant phrase is Niyate Graha Hya Avasan. They did not live at home. Graha means home as well as wife. In fact, home means wife. Home does not mean a room or a house. One who lives with a wife lives at home. Otherwise, a sannyasi or a brahmachari, even though he may live in a room or in a house, does not live at home. They did not live at home means they did not accept a wife, and so there was no question of their discharging semen. Semen is meant to be discharged when one has home, a wife, and the intention to beget children. Otherwise, there is no injunction for discharge semen. These principles were followed from the beginning of creation, and such brahmacharis never created progeny. This narration has dealt with the descendants of Lord Brahma from Manu's daughter Prasuti. Prasuti's daughter was Dakshayani or Sati, in relation to whom the story of Daksha Yajna was narrated. So now Maitreya is now explaining the other sons of Brahma. So now people are not staying at home also. Some people, they enjoy, but they don't want wife or they don't want husband. So that type is also not encouraged. You may say, oh, I am also I am also alone, single. No, actually here there is irresponsibility. But when these great personalities, when they are not marrying, they are taking responsibility. So there is a difference between these two. We should understand. Why some people say, oh, these people became brahmachari, they are irresponsible. They don't want to take responsibility of the family. That's why they ended up in the ashram. But that is actually not correct. If somebody does like that, then he will not be very happy in the ashram. Just to escape the family responsibilities, he joins ashram, he will not be happy. If somebody want to take the responsibility of going back home, back to Godhead, he is ready to take the responsibility of a greater family. That means a society, he considers the society as a family and take responsibility of it. In that case, he will be happy when he joins ashram. Otherwise, he will have so much trouble here. Just to escape, he is doing. So the purpose of Narada and all this is they want to take a higher responsibility of delivering the soul. And also they took the responsibility of society, giving them knowledge, serving the Lord. So this is the purpose of their not entering into Agrahasthashram. It is never a responsibility. There is a great people. Actually, this is actually what happened, why people lose faith in sadhus and all is They see that we go to some holy places, we see some people are in the guise of sadhus and they're just sitting and begging. So people say they are lazy, they're just begging and they are sadhus. No, that is not actually so. He should not, like, every months in a month, one person comes to our place also. He dress up as a sadhu and he blows a shank and he rings the bell and he goes house to house for begging. I give everybody charity who comes except for this person. I say, "Arey, because of you, I feel that sadhus are getting bad name. You are not giving anything because you are wearing a dress of a sadhu and you feel you are entitled for charity. That is not actually correct. He should take responsibility of giving knowledge, serving the society, and they can ask maybe one, two houses or maybe five, six houses, some charity so that they can survive. But remaining, it's not that whole day you are doing that only. That is not correct. Anyway, that's a big discussion, but I just wanted to say. And then another son of Lord Brahma was this or irreligion whose name was falsity. From their combination was born two demons named Damba or bluffing or Maya or cheating. These two demons were taken by the uh, demon named Niriti, who had no children. So this description helps us. We discuss this also, Ishopanishad. Vidyam cha vidyam te astad vedo bhayam sa. We need to know knowledge also, and we need to know uh, what is religion, dharma also, adharma also. By knowing, not that we just have to sit and study it, by knowing we can be free from the entanglement because we can see the what you call the danger of it or the entanglement how we happened. Like we are discussing how we are got entangled. Why we should discuss why we got entangled? So that we know, oh, this is what I am. I am in a such a uh, I am such in a pathetic state, so I should come out of it. So the desire comes. So that's the reason this description is given. So they are all connected to each other very nicely. So it all starts from a religion. It starts from and here other religion, Adharma, was also a son of Brahma and he married his sister Mrisha. This is the beginning of sex life between brother and sister. Now we may question Swayambhu Manu and Shatrupa are also brother and sister because both are born from Brahma. But it was not like that. So the state of consciousness was completely different. They did not like your brother and sister. Immediately you have a different type of uh, feel for the thought, means the state of mind is different. But here the Lord created only in such a way Brahma so that they understand that they are separate. So that's why they could marry. But here in this case, it's not like that. This unnatural combination of sex life can be possible in human society only where there is adharma or irreligion. It is understood that any enjoyment we do, we have to pay for it. There is a responsibility. So here, people, they don't want to pay for the enjoyment. That's why it is adharma. That is the point. Like if I am enjoying, I should pay, take immediately responsibility. So the kings used to marry many women, but they were taking responsibility of that woman also. And they were not just enjoying irreligiously. They had a desire to enjoy, but they are ready to take responsibilities. They are ready to provide food, shelter, everything for the women, whomever they are marrying. Even Brahmanas and some Vaishyas, they used to have many wives, but they were taking responsibility for it. They were not doing it religiously. But nowadays, people, they do everything and then they kill the child in the womb. No responsibility for the child, no responsibility for the enjoyment. Even women and men, both are saying, okay, let us enjoy. So this is where irreligion starts. It is understood that in the beginning of creation, Brahma created not only saintly sons, Sanak, Sanatan, Narada, but also demonic offsprings like Nirati, Dharma, Damba, and falsity. Everything was created by Brahma in the beginning. Regarding Narada, it is understood that because in his previous life he was very pious and his association was very good, He was born as Narada. Others are also born in their own capacities according to their backgrounds. The law of karma continues birth after birth. When there is no creation, the same karma comes back with the living entities. They are born in different capacities according to karma, even though their father is originally Brahma, who is exalted qualitative incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, may say, why did Brahma create this? Right? He can create only good people. Now, the whole world will be good. Why did he create? Because living entity want it. That's why just Brahma is an instrument. He's just fulfilling the will of the Lord and desire. That's why Uti comes, like creative impetus. Visarga is actually, Sarga is already Lord created. Now what is happening in the fourth chapter is Visarga. Visarga is what? It is the creation done by Brahma, and he's basically fulfilling the will of Lord. That's all. Brahma is not independent. And what is the will of Lord? Will of Lord is that living entity, let them get their desires fulfilled. As a neutral father, he is just giving, facilitating the living entities who want to enjoy different ways in this Karanam Gunasangasya Sadasad Yori Janmashu. They are getting different bodies and they are enjoying differently according to their desires. So here, that's where the karma factor comes. So karma continues birth after birth. So I had certain karma, I want to continue it. At the end of life, Lord is going to ask us, you want to come to me? Instead of crying for the Lord, I was crying, oh my mother, oh my father, oh my house, oh my car, oh my sister, brother, wife, children. I started crying for all these things instead of Lord. Lord said, okay, okay, don't cry, I'll give you again all these things in next life. Go into the womb of another mother. Again, you'll get mother, father, brother, sister, wife, and all these things you are crying for. Again, you take it. So we are not crying for the Lord. We are crying for all these material things when we are dying. There is no option for the Lord. He has to again create and give all these things. No. And then all this falsity and all these things are part of what I want to enjoy. Because without without this illusion, I cannot enjoy only. Then no option for Lord has to create all these things. I had a desire to enjoy in a wrong way. Then what can Lord do? He just facilitates and says, okay, fine with me. And no, you have to pay for it, whatever you are doing. You have to blame yourself for whatever you want. And then it says, oh, great souls from Dhamba and Mirat, Maya, were born greed and Nikriti or cunning. From their combination came child named Krodha, Himsa, and their combination were born Kali and his sister Drupti, harsh speech. So it's all connected very nicely. If you are angry, then you are envious, and then you are Kali was born, and then harsh speech. Kali is there is a desire to quarrel, and in quarrel, you speak very harshly. And O great of all good men, by the combination of Kali, harsh speech was born children named Mrityu, and death, and then fear. And Mrityu and Bhiti came excessive pain and hell. And so this is success and how it happens. And people end up here. So hell is not only just geographical location. We discussed this many times. It's just a state of mind. And what state of mind we are, that is actually hell. And now we may be nicely having in front of us good food, good health, nice house, air conditioner, we have a good car. Still we can be hell if our mind is filled with envy, greed, lust. And because my neighbor got a better car, he got good profit than me, I may be miserable. I may be in a best situation, but I can continue to be miserable because uh, because that's a state of mind. It's, my dear Vidra, I have summarily explained the cause of devastation. One who hears this description 3 times attain piety and wishes the sinful contamination sorry, washes the sinful contamination from his soul. You see, just by knowing it only. That means it helps us. And Prabhupada writes that the creation takes place on the basis of goodness, but devastation takes place because of irreligion. That is the way of metal creation and devastation. So now we see that all these destructions are happening. There will be some antisocial elements always in the society for destroying. And there will be wars always, there will be some terrorists, there will be something that is always happening. And nothing happens, people will themselves break the building, construct new one. So the descendant of irreligion and falsity, born one after another, are bluffing, cheating, greed, cunning, anger, envy, quarrel, harsh speech, death, fear, severe pain, and hell. All these descendants are described as signs of devastation. If a person is pious and hears about this cause of devastation, he will feel hatred for all these, and that will cause his advancement in a life of piety. So this is the purpose of all this description. Piety refers to the process of cleansing the heart. As recommended by Lord Chaitanya, one has to cleanse the dust from the mirror of the mind, and then advancement on the path of liberation begins. Here also, the same process is recommended. Malam means contamination. We should learn to despise all the causes of devastation beginning from irreligion and cheating, and then we shall be able to make advancement in a life of piety. The possibility of our retaining Krishna consciousness will be easier and shall not be subjected to repeated devastation. The present life is repeated birth and death. But if we seek the path of liberation, we may be saved from the repeated suffering. So now, best of the Kuru dynasty, I shall now describe before you the descendant of Swayambhu Manu, who was born of the part of plenary expansion of personality of Godhead. So they are all empowered personalities, and here Maitreya is going to describe to Vidura. Lord Brahma is a powerful expansion of Supreme Personality of God. Although Brahma is Jiva Tattva, he is empowered by the Lord, and therefore he is considered a plenary expansion of Supreme Lord. Sometimes it happens that there is no suitable living being to be empowered to act as Brahma. The Supreme Lord himself appears as Brahma. Brahma is a plenary expansion of Supreme Lord, and Swayambhu Manu was the direct son of Brahma. The great sage Maitreya is now going to explain about the descendant of Manus. So now the story starts. Swayambhu Manu had two sons with the name wife Saturupa, Uttanapada, and Priyavata. Now, important point. Because both of them were descendants of a plenary expansions of Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality God. They were very competent to rule the universe, to maintain and protect the citizens. So this is the point. They were empowered by the Supreme Lord himself. So Lord will not choose any ordinary person to empower. They are very, very qualified, very great personalities. Still, there is problem. So Prabhupada, right? It said these two kings, Uttanapada and Priyavata, specifically empowered the Supreme Personality of God. King Uttanapada had two queens, Suniti and Suruchi. Suruchi was more dear to king and who had a son. And Suniti had a son. Dhruva was not his favorite. So, so even that time also, these problems are there where you have favoritism, and then that causes pain actually. And you feel insecure and so many other things, especially like Dharma married many daughters of Daksha. He didn't have much problem because he was creating all the qualities were created by Dharma. He was Dharma, so he followed Dharma. And Kashyap Muni also. There are so many great personalities who are taking care of their wives very nice. Nobody had any complaints. Of course, Diti had a complaint that I don't have children and she got children, but that was in a wrong time. But otherwise, they are qualified to take care of all the wives nicely. Here also Uttanpada was taking, but he had some favoritism, and then because of which, and what happens is if you show your weakness, if you are attached, then you are controlled. So Uttanapada was attached to Suruchi because he is attached to her. Attached to what? Attached to the pleasure he is getting from her. And she understood his weakness and she started controlling. So we cannot blame Suruchi also 100%. She is just acting according to her womanly nature. If she is knowing that this person is so attached to me and he is enjoying, then my presence and all, then she will take advantage. And Uttanapada, instead of controlling himself, we cannot say anything. He's the father of great personalities. But the principle we need to understand. There is a difference between affection and attachment. So any type of enjoyment we are weak, we have to pay. We end up in a very embarrassing situation. Now you see, Uttanapada story is discussed from millions of years. It is in Swayambhu Manvantara, and now we are in Vaivasvat Manvantara, and 7 Manvantaras passed, and still Uttanapada is discussed. So it's an embarrassment only. And people say, oh, Uttanapada, he was handpicked husband. No, he has to hear that again and again because of that weakness. So we are also caught up in this material world because of our weaknesses. And Maya knows our weakness and she nicely holds us here and always keeps in a very embarrassing situation. Parabhavas tavadaboda jate yavanna jignyas atma tattva. Parabhavas tavada. We are always kept in a very shameful situation in this material world. Yes, Mataji, you had some points to share.
Krishna Prabhuji, you told plenary expansion, na Prabhuji. So plenary expansion means that same Bhagavan comes in another form, same powers he has got, but is my understanding correct, Prabhuji? I don't know. Plenary expansion means what?
Oh, they are just given some special powers to do certain activity, that much.
Lord has certain powers, not the full powers as the Supreme.
No. Some powers, that too in ruling and other aspects, not in all aspects.
So what is sometimes plenary portion it comes, na Prabhuji? So what is the difference between plenary expansion and plenary portion?
Of course, if you can use words differently, but basically here, if it is it's portion expansion. If they are told empowered means it's a living entity. It's not the Lord. Its expansion means it is Lord. So Rishabdev is directly Lord. His expansion means Lord. But here they are only empowered. So empowered means living entity is empowered. For the Lord, there is no empowerment. He comes himself.
So plenary portion means that same, Prabhuji.
Plenary expansion. We actually the word can be used differently. That's what I am telling you. You can, basically you understand that living entities are empowered and Lord is when Lord comes, it's an expansion. So the names, whoever is expansion and whoever is empowered, that is very clearly given. We have this chart also in Chaitanya Charitamrita.
When Jiva comes, he is empowered. When God comes, he is plenary
expansion. Yeah.
Expansion or portion. Same.
Yeah. Okay. So means I don't want to. There is in Chaitanya Charitamrita the whole chart is there. Who is expansion? Who is empowered? In Laghu Bhagavatam also this description is there. Who is empowered? So in that we can know who is empowered expansion. But this you understand that living entity is empowered and Lord is an expansion.
But my doubt is, Prabhuji, expansion, it comes plenary expansion, sometimes plenary portion. So plenary portion, it comes means it is Jiva then, empowered, that means portion.
No, that's what I am telling. There you may get confused with the words, but who is expansion, who is empowered, if you want to know, you have to go to the chart only. We cannot, any living entity is there, it's all empowered only. They may be called as plenary expansion also, but
And
it is
plenary portion also.
they may be called, but we
Okay.
should know they
That
are
is the
different.
difference. I don't know, Prabhuji. Expansion and sometimes portion it's given. So
So
both are same then.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thanks. So we will continue. So here, so from here it starts that the great sage Maitreya wanted to describe the pious activities of the kings. Priyavata was the first son of Swayambhu Manu, and Uttanapada was second. But the great sage Maitreya immediately began to speak of Dhruv Maharaj, the son of Uttanapada, because Maitreya was very eager to describe pious activities. So here, pious activities, devotional activities. The in the indicates the incidents in the life of Dhruv Maharaj are very attractive for devotees. From his pious actions, one can learn how one can detach himself from material positions and how one can enhance one's devotional service by severe austerities and penances. So these two things are needed. What we need to get out of these attachments which are holding us, and we have to enhance our devotion by some penances and austerities. So by hearing the activities of pious Dhruva, one can enhance one's faith in God and can directly connect with the Supreme Personality of God. Actually, when I was very small, maybe 4 years old, that time I saw the movie of Dhruva. It was Dhruva Maharaj movie came in theater. And after Dhruva finished, after watching that movie, next day onwards, I started doing meditation. I was four only. So it was like inspiration. And I was very good boy that time. But after going to school, I got spoiled. I left my meditation. But it was there. Some part of life we'll get inspired to do some good activities. So it really worked. So uh, here Prabhupada is writing same thing. By hearing the activities of pious Dhruva, one can enhance one's faith in God and directly connect with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus one can very soon be elevated to the transcendental platform devotional service. So the example of Dhruva Maharaj austerities can immediately generate a feeling of devotion in the hearts of hearers. So this is true also. That movie was very. I used to sit and I used to chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Of course, for 5 minutes, but it was at least for 5 minutes I was doing sincerely. And once upon a time, King Uttanapada was patting the son of Suruchi, Uttama, placing him on his lap. Dhruva Maharaj was also trying to get on the king's lap, but the king did not very much welcome him. Well, the child Dhruva Maharaj was trying to get on the lap of his father. Suruchi's stepmother became very envious of the child, and with great pride she began to speak as to be heard by the king himself. So here, king uh, is enjoying something, then you are controlled. That's the rule of this world. This world is controlling us because we want to enjoy. Otherwise, the material world, no way it can control a living entity because we are spirit and matter is dead. How dead matter can control a living spirit which is superior to it? Because we have the weakness to enjoy. That's why it is controlling. Otherwise, there is no way, right? And all the things that are holding us, actually, we are holding it. That's what when Jankumara asked Ashtavakramani, why is Maya holding us? And immediately runs to a nearby garden and holds the tree tightly and says, leave me, leave me, leave me. And I shouting, leave me, leave me. And Janak Maharaj comes behind and with folded hand he says, my dear sage, actually you are only holding the tree. Tree is not holding you. And Ashtavakramani says, yes, that is the point. We are holding the material nature. Material nature is not holding us because I am interested in enjoying different ways. I am holding the mobile all the time in my hand. Mobile is not holding me. I am holding the mobile. And then I complain that, oh, my time is wasted because of my mobile. My time is wasted because of this. Arey, you are holding the mobile. Arey, I am overeating. Food is not coming to you. We are going to the food. And we may say so many other things like that. We go to the matter and we try to enjoy. And then when we enjoy, you are caught up. So here we see that uh, Uttanapada is controlled by Suruchi. No means, oh, Suruchi is so bad. No. It is weakness of Uttanapada, that's why Suruchi could control. She is just acting according to her nature. So she cannot be blamed completely, right? The king, of course, was equally affectionate towards both his sons Uttama and Dhruva. So uh, he had a natural inclination to take Dhruva as well as Uttama on his lap. But because of his favoritism towards the queen Suruchi, he could not welcome Dhruva Maharaj despite his feelings. The king, Uttanapada's feelings were understood by Suruchi, and therefore with great pride she began to speak after king's affection for her. This is the nature of women. If a woman understands that her husband regards her as a favorite and is especially affectionate to her, she takes undue advantage. These symptoms are visible even in such an elevated society as the family of Swayambhu. You see, Prabhupada is very clearly. Therefore, it is concluded that feminine nature of women is present everywhere. So it is her nature she is acting, and it is these symptoms are visible in such an exalted plan. Yes. So Prabhupada is also making that point very clearly. That means we cannot expect much. Oh, we see, oh, such a no very rich cultured family, and they are the fabulously rich top family of the country and all. All these things, na, it is to hear is very good. So, but to really apply, see, the reality of this, their life and all is like this only. We see, wow, such exalted family, Swayambhu Manu's family. No, there are family problems. Oh, such an exalted family, Daksha's family. No, problems are there. And we see story after story, different levels of problems are there. And not as small, it's deeper and deeper only to make us understand that this is what world is. Yeah, Suruchi and Queen Suruchi told Dhruva Maharaj, my dear child, you do not deserve to sit on the throne or on the lap of the king. Surely you are also the son of king. But because you did not take your birth from my womb, you are not qualified to sit on the lap for your father's lap. When Suruchi very proudly informed Dhruva Maharaj that to be the king's son was not the qualification for sitting on the lap or throne of the king. Rather, this privilege was dependent on one's having taken birth from her womb. In other words, she indirectly informed Dhruva Maharaj that although he happened to be born of king, he was considered an illegitimate son because of his birth from the womb of another queen. So this is no, she is giving such a heavy words to a small child, and Uttanapada helpless. He was completely helpless, and he is not able to speak anything. My dear child, you are unaware that you are born not from of my womb, but of another woman. Therefore, you should know that your attempt is doomed to failure. You are trying to fulfill a desire which is impossible to fulfill. So such a heavy chastisement she is giving to a small child. And this is another problem. Person is envious, cruel, all this drukti and dharma and all this harsh speech, envy, hatred, all these things come one after another, one after another. And here we can see, and this is not in some Kali Yuga, this is in Satyuga only, and not in some low class family, very elevated family. This is happening. And the small child, Dhruva Maharaj, is naturally affectionate towards his father. I did not know that there was a distinction between his two mothers. This distinction is pointed out by Queen Suruchi, who informed him that since he was a child, he did not understand the distinction between the two queens. This is another statement of Queen Suruchi's. This is another statement of Queen Suruchi's pride. So, if you at all desire to rise to the throne of the king, then you have to undergo severe austerities. First of all, you must satisfy the Supreme Personality of God Narayana. And then, when you are favored by him because of such worship, you shall have to take your next birth from my womb. And Prabhupada is writing, Suruchi was so envious of Dhruva Maharaj that she indirectly asked him to change his body. That means she told him to die. According to her, first of all, he has to die, then take his birth in her womb. And only then would it be possible for Dhruva Maharaj to ascend to the Lord. So it's really very heavy. Okay, any questions, comments? We'll end here. Thank you all very much.